Welcome to Plugin. I'm your host, Stephanie Myers, and you are listening to the 19th episode. And here joining with us is Dave Leckness from Vector Control. Good morning.
Hey, thanks, Stephanie.
So let me ask you, first thing is, honestly, what is Vector Control?
Stephanie, I'm glad you asked, because that's my role. I'm a board member. Avi, are you familiar with Vector Control?
I heard of them, and every now and then I call them, but...
All right, and you call them because of rats or whatever.
Yes.
Vector Control, Stephanie, just so you know, the word vector, because that's the first thing I thought when I became on the board a couple years ago. What is vector? What is a vector? Vector means a carrier.
Okay.
It's a carrier. So the Orange County Vector Control District, their job is to protect the citizens of Orange County from vectors and vector-borne diseases. That's their primary role, is to protect you.
The other thing I found out about them in my tax bill, I see it, Vector Control. But that's about it.
You know how much it is? Let me tell you, because a lot of people say, hey, how much is it? Stephanie, you're probably asking, how does somebody pay for this? How do we pay Vector Control? Vector Control gets $1.92 per home in Orange County. No, not per month, per year.
Per year, wow.
$1.92, that's chicken feed.
Yeah, that's nothing.
That's not even a hamburger.
That's on the. I believe that's on the federal side. On the state side, it's like $5 a year, and then here's the on your property tax, it's .0000. That's 4 zeros.
Wow.
1 4.
Wow.
So it's real insignificant what you pay, but for what they do for you.
Okay, what do they do for me? I haven't seen anything.
Oh, well, that's their job. Because if you haven't seen anybody keeling over from West Nile virus in your community, we're doing our job.
Okay.
But I do want to get serious, because it has been, 2014 has been a terrible, what we call off-the-charts year for Vector Control and the West Nile virus.
But I thought the West Nile virus, specifically, they need water or... It's
it's a
mosquito. Dirty water.
Yeah. We are in drought. Where do they find the water?
That's such a great question. Last year, starting off the year, we had 2,000 empty pools, or pools that are, they've been abandoned.
Okay.
Then we did a flyover in April, and we did a flyover completely of Orange County to look at all the other homes. Are there any other pools that need to be looked at?
Yeah.
Then we found 1,000 more pools that have been abandoned that are breeding grounds for the mosquito.
So it's not really the water.
It's horrible conditions out there. 3,000 pools are out there right now that have been abandoned. And what happens is, when you're losing your home, if you can't afford it, you lost your job, you're losing your home, the first thing to go is the pool boy.
Yeah.
The pool boy's out of there, and now that pool just turns into a breeding ground.
I remember we worked in foreclosures, and we go to these homes with massive pool, and the pool literally green, and we had to go to Home Depot and get all these chemical to dump in it until the bank approved the cleaning.
But now you call Vector Control. We have these. If you've ever get a moment, you need to come to our headquarters in Garden Grove. We have a fish, they're mosquito-eating fish, and we breed them there, and I don't know if the word breed, but it's like a hatchery or whatever.
You hatch them there.
And every day, the guys, the staff of Vector Control get buckets of these fish, these mosquito-eating fish, and they take them to these pools that we talked about, and we're trying to kill off these mosquitoes.
Can they survive in this water? Because the water is so green, and then you have the...
Yeah, I was going to say the chlorine, the chlorine, and some pools have salt water in them, so I'm surprised to...
They love it. This is their
bionic fish.
But what about the mosquitoes?
And it's so terrible, because think of this here. I want to tell you a statistic. And remember, we are leading not only California, Orange County is leading not only California, but the nation in West Nile virus infections. It is absolutely devastating what has happened out there. We had 7 individuals in Orange County die last year because of West Nile virus, and another 200 and something are infected. And you say, what happens when you're infected? You're infected. You're nauseous.
It's almost like
fever.
Lyme disease.
It's like you get the fever. You get all these bad things, and then what's worse is it burrows into your brain and turns your brain into mush, and you have to relearn to walk. The worst is if you die. But anyways, let me just give you this analogy that I think is pretty powerful. We had 7 people die in Orange County. If we had 7 people attacked and killed by sharks in Orange County, do you think it would be on the news? If we had 7 people attacked by a mountain lion while a bike rider,
it will be Fox will never CNN. Every 2 seconds you will see it.
You make a great point, and I mean that's really important because exactly if it were someone like shark attacks, it would definitely
be on the news.
Yeah, it would be on the news.
Because it's a small mosquito. We have this poster at Vector Control, and it lists the world's most dangerous animals. Okay, and at the bottom of the list is the elephant. Then there's the tiger. Then there's the lion, and then the shark. At the top of the list, the most dangerous of all is the little tiny mosquito. That one has killed more people in
because you don't see it coming. I mean, you see the lion or the elephant or whatever, but the mosquitoes are everywhere, and you don't notice it. And even if it hits you and bites you, you don't notice it until you fall sick.
And people could think that, oh, I have the flu, I just have a really bad cold, that I haven't been taking care of, and I think that's really important. So how can people sort of prevent?
That's my job on the board. My job is to come to great places like Orange County Digital Studio, right here with Plugin, getting the message out. Thank you for this, because this is what we have to do. We have to let the public know you have to protect yourself. In the evening, you've got to put on some DEET, some kind of repellent, because you have to put it on your kids and the elderly. They're the most susceptible to this
the mosquito
problem
bite.
with it.
But let me ask you a question. Is it more in the summer or the winter? Is it seasonal, or is it...
yes. Like this time last year, we saw this coming. We started doing all this analysis, and we go, we're going to have a bad year. Are you ready for this? I'm going to tell you something you're not even going to believe. We tested the mosquitoes, last year. 80% of the mosquitoes that we caught and tested in Orange County, 80% had the West Nile virus in them. Can you imagine that? 80% of the mosquitoes are carrying the West Nile virus. So when you go outside, you have to be ready, because it's very possible if a mosquito lands on you, it's carrying the West Nile virus.
Does it affect animal or just human?
Crows, birds. It does. It doesn't. We can't get it from a bird. Okay. The only way a human can get it is through a mosquito, through a blood.
Essentially a blood transfusion.
This is what happens here. The life of a mosquito, it lives in that little area. Any kind of standing water that you have, it's going to live there. It breeds, and as soon as the thing flies off of this water after 7 days, it only takes 7 days for the cycle to start.
Oh gosh!
It flies off. The first thing this mosquito has to do is get a blood meal. It has to have a blood meal. And over the millions of years, these mosquitoes have this incredible ability to seek out carbon dioxide, what we breathe out. And so then the first thing they do is they bite something.
Wow.
And animals are usually, the first thing they find.
So the bottom line is that you need to, what's the message to the public? If they have a pool, make sure that it's not green.
That's one of the main areas is pools, or little, if they have potted plants around their homes. Here's the good news for this down south area. Mission Viejo and San Juan Capistrano and Irvine, we haven't had the problem like in the northern Orange County. Santa Ana is off the scales of everyone who's been infected. Most of them are coming from Santa Ana area. And the reason is, in Santa Ana, a lot of homes don't have air conditioning. In the summertime, when this happens, when you get bit, they don't have screens. Many of the homes don't have screens. They open their windows, and these mosquitoes
they just fly in.
I seen another phenomenon, and it's maybe Santa Ana. I see a lot of people. They have like tires and what have you in the back, and some of the water that seeps into the tire. It's a perfect breeding ground for those, and more so because they have bigger lot in some areas, so they use them as storage or as a junkyard in the back of the house.
And underneath the street, every city's got a whole other city underneath the city, and it's called the storm drains, right? I've been down in our storm drains here in our city, and unless the city keeps this clean. It is again a breeding ground. Underneath some cities, they have tires, they have leaves, shopping carts, all this stuff, and it stops the flow of water. And then this is
it's
what
like
what
a
happens.
dam, and the water stays in the.
We've got a truck at the Orange County Vector Control. You've got to see this vehicle. At night and during the day, it rolls around. Every city in Orange County has this. Has these trucks, and they put a tube down the manhole, of manholes wherever they are,
Yeah.
and it blasts this poison down into the manhole to kill these mosquitoes.
Wow.
And this happens while you're sleeping,
Yeah.
you know, or while
Yeah.
you're at work. Orange County Vector Control is out there protecting you.
So how did you get to this board? What drove you to get on the board?
2 years ago, our mayor asked me, I was on the council, asked me if I would like to do this, be on the board of Vector Control. And again, I didn't know what Vector Control was, but now I'm an expert.
Like every...
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm an expert. Anyway, so I did it, and I really enjoy it. It's good to see us helping people, because it's devastating.
So is it government elected position or just assigned?
Each city sends a representative.
Okay.
And sometimes it could be the mayor, it could be the mayor pro tem, it could be a council member, or it could be a resident of the city.
Okay.
There's a board of 34 cities. There's 34 cities in Orange County.
Yeah.
The board is made up of 34 individuals plus a supervisor, and they're all in a room. They have all got a desk with microphones, and then they set the policy and they set the direction that they want to see the Orange County Vector Control head down.
Yeah. Okay. So we are the richest, almost one of the richest county in the country, with the biggest vector or mosquito problem.
Mosquito problem.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're right, and it just doesn't seem right. Up until last year, we were actually a poster child of greatness with this problem. But now, last year was just one of those years. It's just we can't really figure it out what the heck happened. But
And now with the measles, we
yeah,
where it started, the epicenter of measles in Disney.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're not on a good track right now. We need to change that, because I mean it's really a scary situation when you look at it, you know, from your perspective, and now from my perspective. I don't even.
Well, thank you for having me, because this is the way it starts. You have to get education.
Yes.
You have to get the message out there, and it's thanks to people like you that are willing to say, let's talk about this. Let's find out what's going on.
Yes.
And
because it's not headline
people.
news. It's not CNN and headline news. Okay.
All right, we are going to take our first commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Plugin. I'm Stephanie Myers here with Dave Leckness again. I feel like that's a little bit of a tongue twister.
No, you're doing great. I've heard a lot worse.
And just to wrap things up with OC Vector Control, thank you so much for letting us know about that. We're going to have an open discussion, but if you want to find out more about Vector Control, visit ocvcd.org. That's OCV as in vector, CD as in district.org.
Yes, it's Orange County Vector Control District.org, but the acronym is OCVD.org. So anyway, we're switching topic, and we are staying with our guest, and we are going to just delve into a couple things, international as well as national stuff. And the first, on the technology side, you know, Apple is coming in April with their watch.
Yes.
And they have, some of the watches are made out of gold, and they're going to be sold for almost $5,000.
Wow.
And the trick is that they will be obsolete in a year, because once a new watch comes, like your iPhone, the old one is obsolete.
Right. Yes, they're trying to get designers into this. Everyone wants a little bit of share in that market, and it'll help businesses, in the apparel, accessories, to make some money off of the Apple Watch because they're trying to get designers involved with that.
Well, every time, all the other companies went, LG, Samsung, and all this, they have their own watch. But once Apple comes into the market, they totally shift the market and set the new standards of it. And now, wait for April, so you can shell up to $5,000 to have a watch that will be obsolete in a year. And on the other news, which is drones, the FAA finally put some standards on drones for only enthusiasts. Not Amazon will have to wait, or they said they might go to Europe to fly packages because the U.S. will not allow them a license to fly because you have to fly it up to 500 feet, 100 miles an hour, and it has to be sight of vision. You cannot just take off with them.
I was really hoping I would get my Taco Bell delivered to me via drone.
No, unless you live next door to them. And it's not going to happen. Yeah. And new on the technology side, the recently big thing in the news, some hackers from Russia stole not 1 million, not 100 million, 1 billion with a B dollars from banks around the world, U.S. involved as well. And they did it all electronically. They never pulled a gun, or they never went down the street and being chased by cops. And literally, they will send people to different locations in a bank and trigger the ATM machine to spit the money to the people waiting outside. So that's how sophisticated this was.
Technology.
Our advance and our doom. Literally, they can go and trigger certain ATM machines to spit money. And you go with your card trying to get money. Your limit is $200 or $400 for the day. These machines were spitting in the thousands.
I saw this YouTube thing this morning where a guy has looks like a notebook. He's walking with a notebook, and he goes into a jewelry store or wherever, and he just has to hold the notebook close, about 6 inches away from a woman's purse, and it will scan every card that's in that purse. So it just has to get within 6 inches. Or your wallet. He could hold it. It could be on a subway. It could be on in line at a Starbucks. And they were showing
the wallet
how it
or
works.
Phone number.
It steals the information off. It's exactly the same thing. Like when you go
Oh,
buy one of your fancy sunglasses at one of the stores, right? Yeah. They take your card and they slide it through a thing. It's exactly the same thing, except for you don't need to slide it. It picks it up within 6 inches.
Wow.
So it's just
so
terrible.
What are we to do? Go back to cash?
We always. It's great that all this new technology is coming out, but that gives people the concern. How am I going to protect my identity? And that's a great point you bring up, because Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank actually he had a segment about, I just need to hold this over a woman's purse for a second. Yeah. And now I know people who have for each credit card a little slot where it can't detect it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's.
So you need detection, the anti-detection for your purse, for your wallet, for your phone.
Yeah, so it's so scary. These hacking.
Last week we were talking about cars being hacked and being open. You don't need a crowbar. You just go with your laptop and put a code.
Wi-Fi,
and the car's doors are open, and then you go in and turn it on. You don't need to break anything and drive it away.
Man, let me add to that. We had the police came and they spoke to our city about these people that are breaking into cars, and this is what they do, and it's happening all over Orange County. Wow. The bad guys are in the parking lot of a 24-hour Fitness or LA Fitness or whatever, right? They sit in the parking lot on a brick wall, and they watch the people pull up. Yeah. And the women that pull up, they know if they leave the car with just a water bottle, which most of them do, they walk into the 24-hour Fitness. The bad guy knows that the purse is in the car. Yep. If they're just walking with the water bottle, the purse is under a coat or something. Yep. So as soon as they go inside there, they have they put something on the end of a like a iron rod,
Yeah.
and they pop that window. The window
1 second.
breaks
Yeah.
instantly, and they reach in and they grab it, and they're out of there. And
Well, it
it's
happened.
happening all over.
We had a young lady that worked with us, and we gave her our car. She wanted to go to the gym, and exactly, she put that purse under. She went to the gym. They know they are there for at least an hour. Within second, the window was broken, and her purse was gone.
Yeah.
So
because they know that there's it's in there.
Yeah.
If they're not walking with a purse, they know
especially
that purse is in the
ladies,
car.
especially ladies.
So if
yeah.
you go
Not
to
a lot
the-
of men have purses, Ollie.
Well, there's some.
There's
Hey, good call,
satchels or
I leave my wallet in
That's
there.
a man bag.
a man purse.
You know,
right?
I was a member of the gym, 24-hour fitness in on the 405, and in there they have an area where you have to put a code to get in. You pay extra, and they have somebody inside with different lockers and all this. And the guy waited when somebody went in, and the door was open. He went in and he broke every locker, cleaned them up before they noticed inside the gym with people going and coming. So when they want to get whatever, they are there. But now with the electronic, they don't even have to come close. They can sit in Russia and rob the banks or steal whatever. Literally, they said the way they got to these banks, they put a website where an employee clicked on a link. They infected the computers, and they were able to turn the cameras, the monitoring cameras, to see and study the habits of that bank and how they operate, learn all the particular, and that's when after that, they start moving the money and adding zeros to some people's account and withdrawing the money. And the bank did not notice it till almost, they said they admit to 300 million, but they said it's almost 3 times that. So go figure. So anyway, that's how we are going to live. So I don't know what you need. Maybe invent a case where you can put all your equipment that it doesn't emit any signals.
It's in the works right now. Someone's inventing that.
The only thing that's good about the hacking is those that have been hacking the ISIS social media accounts, anonymous, I guess they're going by.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, we don't like hacking. We don't want to get into that.
But it's going to be a game changer if we don't change our habit, and specifically with electronics. Can you imagine that North Korea just stole everything in Sony? They can literally turn the electricity off on New York in the middle of the day, and you see the chaos they will create or what have you. So I don't know. They talk about it, and they say we need to do something about it, but nothing has been done. And these criminals around the world, whether stealing the money, they are financing whether terrorists, whether drug trade, or what have you from the money they are stealing. So it's not just the next door neighbor around the corner stole, robbed the bank. So, anything else you want to let us know, talk about?
Yeah, so going back to Apple, they are actually researching and putting in money towards an electric car.
Oh, boy.
Doesn't necessarily mean it will come out, because in the past, Apple has tested prototypes and built some prototypes, but never actually released products. So...
but maybe just giving the thought that way that other companies will get their idea sharpened and jump on the bandwagon. I mean, it took Tesla to make the Tesla car for the electric cars to start change, and more companies are delving into electric. So that's what happened with the iPhone. Remember, we had phones before, but they weren't as sophisticated until Apple got into it and changed the game. So,
yeah, and a report says that Apple is always under constant scrutiny where their next breakthrough product will come from. You know, first it was the iPod, and then it was the iPhone.
They weren't
the
like
iPad.
the breakthrough in technology. They just took whatever and made it better.
Yeah, well, they started the whole tablet sort of iPad, and then everyone else sort of jumped on that bandwagon. So I guess in this sort of sense, Apple has kind of taken a step back and looking at what other companies are doing as far as cars are concerned,
and there's a talk they've been talking ever before Steve Jobs died that they're going to go into television. So I don't know if that's like building television sets where everything is integrated rather than have the cable box and then the Netflix box and what have you. So all of it will be integrated in one box. So I don't know if that's even coming on the horizon. I haven't heard anything from anywhere. So anyway, anything? I had a story this morning. I read a story about a guy in Texas went and talked to people that supposedly Disney going to open a theme park in North Texas, and he somehow convinced these people to buy land and show them drawing, blueprints, and everything. And these people went and gave him $14 million to buy the land.
I was going to say I want to live in Texas where they are because. I don't know where they got that money from. They must have good jobs down there or something.
Oil money before it went down. But and he ended up conning these people and selling them land that it's worthless, middle of nowhere, and show them actual blueprints and what have you that he made online. Yes. So anyway, we're coming to our final minute. And Mr. Dave Leckness, thank you for stopping and letting us know about the vector control. And I know you have a business in the community, and if you want to plug it, this is your moment. You have a minute to go for it.
31 years right here in the city of Mission Viejo, high atop Mission Viejo, where we are right now. Quick Copy Printing, Marguerite Parkway. Thank you very much. And thank you, Stephanie. What do you think about my pink thing, my pink hanky here? Do you like it? Is that like cutting edge?
It's a nice touch. It provides great contrast.
But I don't have a man bag.
I would.
No,
a man bag. It's a purse.
Yeah, no,
it's okay. You know what, Coach? They have actually men section with bags for men.
Yeah.
All right, that's all the time we have today. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. For Plugin, I'm Stephanie Myers.